He's editor-in-chief of Breitbart News and a New York Times best-selling author. And on this podcast, he brings deep research, prescient analysis, and world-class guests. He's Alex Marlow, and this is the Alex Marlow Show.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. This is the Alex Marlow Show, and I'm Alex Marlow. Appreciate you joining the broadcast. And a lot of these shows are going to be pretty good over the next few days. If you want to go back and catch up on a few great interviews with Dr. Gorka, Emma Jo Morris, all of you who have sent me emails, I got a lot of emails last night at aloha@alexmarlow.com. I love reading them, and I will address many of them on the air momentarily, because we're going to talk about some of the things that you guys want to see if I get to take over MSNBC. And I will tell you, I could help him out. I could help him out. For those of you who missed yesterday's show, Don Jr. floated me to take over MSNBC if Elon Musk were to buy it. And I've been thinking about it, and I'm in on the idea. And then I wake up this morning and I see that MSNBC has lost almost half its viewers in post-election rating. You got to figure that's got to be the case, right? Because first of all, there's just got to be huge fatigue, emotional unsubscription from people who were told that the election was going to go a different way. And it's a specific group of people, the MSNBC viewer, who views politics as the most important thing in the world. We conservatives, we don't put politics as number one. We have our number one is God, family. Those are probably our top two. Sometimes career is even ahead of politics. And then politics comes in there pretty high. For me, it's very high, but it's not number one. I mean, God and family will always be ahead of it. Well, what happens when you're secular? What happens when you don't have a family? And that's a lot of the MSNBC audience increasingly. And those people who view politics as the most important thing on earth. So of course they're going to run. And that's why we need to revamp the show lineup. And at the end of the show today, I'll give you some of your ideas that you sent in, and they're so good. I will tell you, they were so good, and I want to do them all. And it just makes me think that maybe we should really try it. Let's just push for it. Let's just take over MSNBC. Come on, guys, we can do it. It's going to be great. So I hope all of you have a great Thanksgiving. My intention is to create some content over the next couple of days, perhaps a special Thanksgiving message. I haven't decided yet, but I want to make sure that you're getting something to chew on, figuratively speaking and literally speaking. So we'll have that coming for you. But are you guys turkey eaters? Are you guys eaters of the turkey? I requested to eat peanut butter and jelly, who were pardoned by Biden 3 years ago. So I want to get those turkeys. I like the turkey. It's great. It's great. It's a fun project. See, I'm a man of a certain age, so I like the cooking of the meat, and something that takes over a day to get it right with your brining it or dry brining it, and then you're making compound butters, and that's all really fun to me. And let's be real, the stuffing that goes inside the bird is by far the superior stuffing, and people who are telling you that that's not the case are lying to you. They're lying to your face. That is the preferred stuffing. It tastes better. And anyone who says Thanksgiving food is not good all year round, it is good all year round. It's just a pain. It's a pain to do it all. It takes a long time. That's why people don't do it all year, but it's great. And there is nothing better on earth than when you do the next day turkey sandwich, maybe you get some bacon, and then you get that going with the cranberry sauce, the homemade. There's nothing better on earth. That is the number one thing to enjoy on the planet. So I hope you all do the turkey. I haven't even asked. I'm going to a cousin's house this year, and I'm pretty sure they're do the steak on Thanksgiving, people. So we're going to see. I haven't even asked because I'm afraid, because I like to do it normally, but it's not happening this year. So I'll keep you all posted, and I hope you all have a really nice time. And I'll speak more to the Thanksgiving holiday later in the weekend. But I want to start with the news that I think all of you who know me and my personality, and I'm grateful for any of you who are new to the show, but if you know me, you know how excited I was going to be when I realized that Kamala Harris had given, for no reason, a 10-minute speech yesterday. She just gave us content for free, for no reason at all. And I'm going to play some of it. I love analyzing speeches from whoever's the standard bearer of the Democrats anyway. You get a clear idea in terms of how they think and also what their voters think. So that matters a lot, because clarity always drives my new sensibilities. And who would be better to introduce Harris here than the one and only Coach Walz, Tim Walz. So let me give you a flavor of what Tim was up to before we get to your drunken auntie already hitting the cognac before Thanksgiving, Kamala Harris. Let's play Walz first, though.
Good afternoon, everyone. To everyone who's on the call, I can't express my deep gratitude to you. Personally, of being on this ticket was the privilege of a lifetime to be with Vice President Harris. But as an American, to see you out there and to see the work that you did, to know that you put your heart, your soul, your time, your talent, your treasure into something bigger than yourself.
Hey, first comment. So Walz here, he's got the quarter zip, which is never a good look. They just don't look that good. I've got a couple. We're a couple on the golf course. It's not a good look. And I'm sure that whoever is potential clothing advertiser who has a great quarter zip, you are the exception. If you like to advertise on the show and you have a great quarter zip. But it's not usually a good look. And he's got the jacket over the quarter zip. Now, I'm not a fashion expert, but I will tell you, that's never been a good look, and I don't know why he thought that would be a good look, but he's going for it. It's just a generic blue sport coat. It's all rumpled. He looks like he's leaning over like he's going to take a bite out of the camera. It's just terrible optics. Here we go.
Bigger than yourselves. The promise of this country, a place where everyone belongs, where no one needs to go hungry or be unsheltered, and where differences of opinion can be celebrated and differences of ideas. And you put that out there and you worked hard for it. And for that, I am forever grateful. I also recognize—
Does that ring hollow to any of you, that different ideas can be expressed? They're talking about that if you have Trump supporters in your family, you should invite them to Thanksgiving, and it's okay to disinvite them. People who want to go to a Madison Square Garden rally are now Nazis. We can't have jokes anymore. You get pushed out of college campuses. You get DEI pushing you out of your workplace. You can't speak your mind on social media or else you get censored, even if it's accurate. These guys are just so full of BS. So great they lost. Oh, so great they lost.
The emotions you're going through, and I share those with you. As the vice president often says, we weren't running against something, we were running for something. And to watch the joy, the vision, the compassion, the decency that the vice president brought to this, and that each and every one of you reflected every place.
What were they running for? Do any of you know? Other than unlimited abortions and to beat Trump? None of you know. There's no message. They never had a coherent message. My 2-year-old who's screaming right now, who you could probably hear on the broadcast, is a more coherent vision for what she wants to do than Kamala Harris and Tim Walz presented. She wants to watch The Nightmare Before Christmas. She wants to have a pacifier. She wants to have some chicken nuggets. I mean, she knows what she wants. What did Harris and Walz want? They want to beat Trump and get you more abortions. Like, that's it.
Went the caring and the sense of joy.
So joyful. Look at how
I
joyful.
know it's incredibly.
Look how much fun he's having right now. He's having so much fun. He wouldn't even take the quarter zip off before he put on the sport coat.
Incredibly disappointing now. And look, candidly, it's a bit scary because there's a very different vision.
All right, let's go. I got a little more flavor of Walz
that's being put out there. But now more than ever, we need the light to shine through. We need to be able to be that hope for the neighbor who's really wondering. We need to be that anchor for the folks who are wondering what's next. And each of you did the work.
Tim, show me some passion. Where were those strange hands that were flying around all over the place? The limp-wristed thing he does. Where was that? I want some of that. If you're watching on the stream, this is what he used to do with his hands. Wish he would do that some more. This is low energy Tim. We got to have joy. Vision was good. I'll do a little more.
Did the work. You took time out of your busy lives and you continued to do it. And it makes a difference. On the campaign trail, I would ask, there will be a day of reckoning when it will be asked, what did you do during the 2024 campaign? Well, I know the people on this call can say everything they possibly could.
Okay, this day of reckoning is coming. Be a day of reckoning. Who's going to be in charge of that, Tim? It's going to be you? You couldn't even put on a nice shirt for this call. You're going to be doing the reckoning? People are lazy. All right, here she is. Auntie Kamala. Mamala, as they say.
What we did in 107 days was unprecedented. Think about the coalition that we built, and we were so intentional about that. You would hear me talk about it all the time. Being a daughter of parents who are active in the civil rights movement, I know and believe that the best movements that are about progress in our country mean that.
So those of you in just the listening audience, I'm going to shock you and note that she's wearing a pantsuit. I know. Unbelievable. Brown on brown. So the monochrome, I think is it's called. And she does look, I don't know for sure, but she looks like she may have hit the happy hour before she put this out. It was a Taco Tuesday, so I'm guessing it was a Mexican restaurant. My favorite, Mexican and Italian, two best places to get food. And I think so I'm guessing because it was Taco Tuesday, she was hitting the marks. Salt on the rim always, every time. I don't think she goes for the blended. I think she just wants it shaken up and that's it. Maybe a dirty dump. You know what a dirty dump is? It's when you don't strain it out over fresh ice. I think that's it. That's my read. That was her beverage of choice.
That it's leaders that we are dedicated to the coalition, to bringing people together that seemingly have nothing in common, but have everything in common. A coalition where we bring people together based on a deep love of our country and our understanding that the strength of our country will be a function of our willingness to put in the work.
This is honestly the conversations you have at the end of a long night when you're in college with someone who is just gushing emotionally, but they're not actually saying anything. And you're thinking, wow, this person really means whatever they're saying, but I don't know what they're saying and I won't retain any of this after tomorrow. I played so far almost 3 minutes of these clips. Have they said anything? Has there been one idea that's actually been presented that's a real idea? Something for you to take away from this. What are we to take away, Kamala? Get to something. Get somewhere with us, please.
And that we will do that work with a sense of joy, yes. With a sense of work ethic and understanding it's going to be hard, but it's good work. It's good work. To be engaged in a collective fight for America's future. And it means so much to me and to Governor Walz that you knocked on doors, you called friends, you called in favors. You said, hey, I showed up at your softball game. Now I need you to show up at the campaign office.
Oh, man.
You put in the time. It was personal for you.
She nailed it.
And you gave all that you could to support our campaign. Because of your efforts, get this, we raised an historic $1.4 billion, almost $1.5 billion from grassroots supporters alone.
Okay, I want to play that part in particular because she's acting like she bragged about it. Like, why is she bragging about it? She raised your money if you're on this call, and then she wasted it. She wasn't even close. She lost by a lot. So she raised all that money. It all got spent. She was $20 million in the hole when she's done. She's still fundraising. I'm still getting fundraising emails from this Harris Walz Fight Fund. Let's see. I'm doing this in real time. See if I can pull up a Fight Fund email. I got one. I marked it down. This is on my notes for myself to do this before the show, but I'll have to get you guys. I'm still getting the Fight Fund emails from Harris Walz. And some of you are too, I'm sure. Why is she doing this? Why is she rubbing it in people's face? We wasted all your money. It's just a classless thing. And who let her do this? And thank you, whoever did. Thank you for the content. All right, a little more.
So listen, as I said the day after the election, I still strongly believe the light of America's promise will burn bright as long as we never give up and we keep fighting. And the fight that fueled our campaign, a fight for freedom and opportunity, that did not end on November 5th. A fight for the dignity of all people, that did not end on November 5th. A fight for the future, a future in which all people receive the promise of America? No. A fight that is about a fight for the ideals of our nation, the ideals that reflect the promise of America, that fight's not over. So look, we still have a lot to fight.
Come backpacking in Joshua Tree with me, man. We should go together. Have you ever done ayahuasca? It's a journey. It's spiritual. You'll never be the same after you're done. Is this where this is leading to? Is she saying anything or is she just emoting to us?
Fight for, okay? A future where every American can pursue their dreams, ambitions, and aspirations where the women of America have a right to make decisions about their own body, not their government telling them what to do. Our fight for the rule of law.
Fight. She says fight a million more times. I won't torture the rest of you. She's going to stop doing this. Trump cabinet picks were targeted with death threats, including bomb threats and swatting. Big report this morning from us at Breitbart News. Fox also has more details. Trump cabinet picks and appointees were threatened. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, or incoming press secretary, who's the transition spokes, said last night, this morning, several of President Trump's nominees and administration appointees were targeted in violent, un-American threats to their lives and those who live with them. Those attacks range from bomb threats to swatting. In response, law enforcement and other authorities acted quickly to ensure the safety of those who were targeted. And she continues from there. Lee Zeldin sent out a tweet saying a pipe bomb threat threatening me and my family at our home was sent with a pro-Palestinian themed message. My family and I were not home at the time and are safe. We're working with law enforcement to learn more as the situation develops. We're thankful to the swift action taken by local officers to keep our family, neighbors, and local communities secure. They got to stop talking about fighting. They've got to stop talking about it. This rhetoric makes a difference. Recall what Jennifer Rubin, formerly the Washington Post, said. Check this out.
Republicans want to kill your kids.
Okay, so that's what they think. If you're a Nazi and you want to kill kids and you want to enslave women, then what's going to happen is some people are going to misinterpret that and they're actually get violent with you. So what I'm nervous about here is that bad things can happen while we're distracted by some of this. And that's where we got to be careful here, because we got another report, Joe Biden asking for $24 billion more for Ukraine. It's got to stop. We get to have a full audit. No more money for Ukraine until we do a full audit of where everything's going. Now, the burden of proof is on them now if they need more money. And I'm not 100% negative on doing what we can to curtail Putin, but you know what's going to do that? It's not more money for Ukraine. It's better diplomacy with Russia, something Joe Biden's incapable of doing. So we don't want that stuff happening. All right, so one other thing we're watching is trade, where Canada's left and right are both in agreement that Justin Trudeau has no plan for trade, even though there's a good chance Trump was going to win. And Trump's threatening Canada with tariffs. But I want to explain what I think is really happening here. So Trump threatening tariffs on Mexico is huge and essential and a great move. And the reason is because Mexico is flooding America with illegal aliens, not just Mexicans, but people from south of Mexico. Anyone in the world who wants to come in knows they can come through Mexico and they can either get through between checkpoints, or now with the parole pipeline under Joe Biden that's in place, they can just check in, sign the guest book, and get absorbed into America, and who knows what happens from there. So Mexico's allowing that, and they're also allowing the drug trade, human smuggling, et cetera, but fentanyl in particular. And Trump's saying that you got to help us stop the caravans and stop the fentanyl, or we're gonna have tariffs on you. So Mexico's reaction is to threaten tariffs right back. They've got a leftist AMLO protege now, Sheinbaum, who's the new Mexican president. And she just says that she's going to do retaliatory tariffs. So this is people who don't pay close enough attention telling you that a trade war is coming. That's not what this is about. It's not about trade war. This is about a couple of things. First of all, Sheinbaum, what she's doing, first of all, she might be nuts. I haven't decided yet. Seems kind of nutty. AMLO is a total nut. She's not as nutty as AMLO, as far as I can tell. So the her predecessor. But what she's doing is she's messaging to a domestic audience. She's messaging to people in Mexico that we're tough. You know, she's a woman. She's going up against Donald Trump. And I think that in that culture, being tough gets a lot of respect. So you see why she's doing it. It might not even be a wrong move politically for her to do it. You know, you always got to assume that they're acting rationally until proven otherwise. But we don't need to worry about that stuff, because here's the bottom line. And John Carney, our economic and finance editor at Breitbart, pointed this out to me. 83% of their exports come into the United States. So most of their export economy goes to America. So they're dependent on the U.S. market for their economy. That's not the case with us. We like Mexican imports, but we don't need them at the same level. So we have way the upper hand. And so Trump doesn't want to look like he's just targeting Mexico. And plus, Canada has let its border rot, which encourages more illegal immigration throughout the continent. He calls up Trudeau and says that, Justin, we're gonna put some tariffs on you. And so Trudeau just gave a bunch of happy talk. I'm sure he was in the fetal position that night because they have nothing. He can't even lie and act like they have any moves. They have no moves. So in the meantime, this is an opportunity for both flanks of Trudeau. There's an actual further left flank. They say he doesn't have a plan. And the Conservative Party, embodied by this really cool guy, Pierre Poilievre, who I pulled some clips of him. I'm not going to spend the time right now, but he's very quotable. And he's the opposition leader for the Conservative Party, all saying Justin doesn't know how to put Canada first. So all this is big, and these are happening behind the scenes. I don't want to get too distracted with, it's very tempting just to talk about all the meltdowns that are taking place, how Kamala lost, all that stuff. But there is some real big fish to fry out there. But the bottom line is that a lot of people are not clear on the new normal with trade now, where we do use tariffs to leverage people, and we're going to get a lot of what we want. And that's a good thing. Trump's sending a message. That remember, Biden didn't drop the tariffs on China. He didn't drop them. So, and what did that do to China? It hurt China's economy, and Biden left that in place. Of all the things Biden did, and he's got a bad China policy overall. In that one regard, he could have been a lot worse. So this very powerful tool, Trump is already wielding it now because these countries have to know that things are going to change once he gets in. All right, that's enough serious stuff for the moment because I want to play some libs melting down some more. Here we go. Here is a video of, this is a Primal Scream event that a lot of liberals are having. Here we go.
They're just going round and round and round.
Oh man, this goes. I got 4 times as much footage of this. Some of you are missing this if you're not getting the video, but you can get some of the audio. That this is a group that were gathered around Claude Park in Whitefish Bay, which is Wisconsin, doing a primal scream to address the pain and frustration after the election results, where Donald Trump beat Kamala Harris in decisive victory. The group is standing on the shoreline screaming. One of the event's attendees, identified as an organizer, posted about the event. Why would they post this stuff? Shouldn't this be done in private? Is anything done in private now? Trump supporters were there, proudly waving their flags on top of hills. How'd they know about this? This is where you do got to feel for the Saturday Night Lives of the world. How could they compete with this? So good. The left is still trying to figure out what they did wrong. And we got to keep track of this because we really want to know where they're going to shake out. David Plouffe, who was Kamala's campaign manager, I think that was his title, but one of the guys who's the architect of Barack Obama's rise, one of the smartest guys they've got in the Democrats. He was on, I think it was the Pod Save America podcast, a popular lefty Obama podcast. He describes what he thinks were the main problems in the election. Let me play some of this.
When we got in, my recollection is some of that snapped back, but we were behind. I mean, I think it surprised people because there was these public polls that came out in late September, early October, showing us with leads that we never saw. It was just basically a race that in the battlegrounds was 46-47, 47-48. So that's not where we started. We started behind. She was able to climb out. I think even after the debate, we might have gained, 0.51. It wasn't a race that moved a lot.
Wow.
And so I think when you think about our own internal analytics, if you have Wisconsin at 47-47, or Pennsylvania 48-47 Trump, let's say, which I think is where we had it at the end, you've got to have undecided break your way more than your opponents, and you've got to get a little benefit from.
First of all, if you're missing the visuals again, it doesn't look good. Looks like he's very tired. He's kind of rocking back and forth like a drug addict. Odd visuals. Everything's visual now, guys. You gotta embrace this. It's happened. I didn't want to embrace it. I'm doing it, trying to. So, but he's admitting the media lied to everyone, that the polls were not that good, that his data was suggesting Kamala was never ahead. I kept saying that she could never get to 50%, even in the public polls, and that made me think she was going to lose. But the internals never thought she was going to win. And the mainstream media just lied to everyone. So MSNBC deserves for their ratings to tank based off of this. Even the debate only got a 0.5 to a 1 point bounce for Harris. I thought Trump did not a good job in that debate. I've made a lot of critiques of it at the time, but I also ultimately thought it would not be an event. I don't think it was going to change people's perception of how much the cost of egg prices and grocery prices and gas prices mattered, and how they thought Joe Biden had gotten us into too many wars and the border was still open. It was on Kamala's watch. I ultimately thought that would all win out. But it's interesting to hear that the media really was completely wrong. So it was always going to be a hard time to win this race after that first debate. The first debate that Joe Biden had against Trump, where already he had his back against the wall, given the economy, given the border, given the wars, et cetera. But I think really after that first debate, it was pretty clear that whoever was going to be the nominee was probably going to lose. I saw a clip of Mark Halperin, who was pretty good throughout the election, saying that Harris shouldn't have run. When Joe Biden called her and said, I'm not going to run, she should have said, I'm sorry. When Biden called her and said, I'm not going to run, she should have said, you know what? I'm not going to run either, because I can evaluate my capacity to beat Donald Trump in 100 days, and I'm not the right person. There may not be someone better, but I know it's not me. That is a very interesting point. And this was my initial analysis. Then it seemed like we all got talked out of it a little bit during that honeymoon period where Harris was riding all that joy. She's riding all that joy, all that momentum, all that happiness. And then now we're here.
They're just going round and round and round.
At the primal scream by the shore. You know, what's not funny about it, we're supposed to have an emotionally resilient society. And Harris is a front runner to run again. I hope she runs. She has to. It wouldn't be fair if she didn't. Interesting thing. This is from The Economist, a YouGov Economist poll that I caught just before the broadcast. Looking at favorability and unfavorability, Trump and Vance both with a +1 favorability. But check this out. From 18 to 29-year-olds, Trump is a 52 to 40 favorability now. So now young people are truly have turned away from the leftism. Whatever Kamala was doing in that video after Margarita Monday or whatever it was, that is not working for younger Americans. They don't like it. Doesn't resonate. Vance is a -2, so only a 0.3 swing there. Also noteworthy, Elon Musk has a 29% approval rating into the positive, 60-31. So +29 with those younger people who's at Trump's side constantly. Ben Stiller, actor, director, done a lot of really great stuff, by the way. Very talented person, Ben Stiller. He's not a joke. Tropic Thunder is an amazing movie, which he starred in, wrote, directed. A few other things he's done have been really good. And he said that what woke America killed edgier comedies. Thanks, Ben. Thanks for chiming in. After he campaigned for Kamala Harris, who is part of the culture that wants everything censored, who doesn't want people to be able to speak the mind without fear of reprisal. So that's where they're at. And where we're at is we've got now a 2-story Trump statue is being drawn. And it's going to be of his iconic fist pump, his act of defiance post an assassination attempt. We got the scoop on this at Breitbart. Nick Gilbertson wrote it up for us. President-elect Trump is being honored with a larger-than-life 2-story tall bronze statue, which is being shaped to capture his iconic defiance in the wake of his assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania. Breitbart obtained exclusive photos of the statue, which you can see at Breitbart.com. Still under construction, and backers behind the project hope to unveil it at inauguration. It's exciting. Oh, man. This thing is huge, and it looks awesome. Very excited about these opportunities, these prospects. I guess I'll throw some cold water a little bit. We're getting some cabinet picks that I'm not thrilled about now. Surgeon General pick, Jeanette Neshawat. She was promoting masking of children during the pandemic. So Not great there. I would probably prefer that not be the case. Probably someone better for that role, in my opinion. Not sure what I'm getting out of this new pick for the Navy. We had a person who is going to be the Navy secretary nominated, but has very minimal Navy experience. Someone named John Phelan, who's a financier, did not serve in the military, does not have a long track record with the Navy, yet he'll be the secretary of the Navy. Not sure I get that one, especially because there seemed like a pretty obvious pick for me. My Congressman Mike Garcia, retired Navy aviator who narrowly lost a race because he got out community organized by the left in my neighborhood. Seems like a perfect guy to do it. There's a couple others. Ronnie Jackson could do it. I guess you don't want to pluck too many people out of the house, but Garcia's gone. So, there's guys out there who could have done it who have Navy background. So we got to keep an eye on it, guys. It's not just going to be a happy talk show. We're mostly in happy talk mode at the moment. But I'm not going to keep you guys from when I'm seeing things that are negative. But what I'll try to do is I'll try to cleanse the palate. If I feel like we're doing too much happy talk, then I'll cleanse the palate. Like, let's say with this clip of Sharon Stone talking about how Americans are awful.
Italy has seen fascism. Italy has seen these things. You guys, you understand what happens. You have seen this before. My country is in its adolescence. Adolescence is very arrogant. Adolescence thinks it knows everything.
So for those of you who are unfamiliar, Sharon Stone, actress, been in a lot of great movies, including Casino, amazing movie. She's, I guess, most famous for the crotch shot that young people in the audience do not look that up. Don't do it. You don't need it. But that's what she's most famous for in the world. Most famous crotch shot in all of cinema. But she's, getting up there in years. She's in Italy and she's doing the thing that I hate so much, trash talking America in a foreign land. And she's saying we're arrogant, where she's up there lecturing. What does she know about anything? Whenever you become famous and you just get lauded and praised and you get all sort of money and attention for your beauty when you're a younger person, do you think maybe that might be the type of person that would become arrogant? And perhaps you should look in the mirror and see who really were the arrogant people. The people who thought we were going to go along with all the platitudes and pablum that I played at the top of the show from Walz and Harris. Why did they think that was going to work forever? They have some of the stupidest ideas you've ever heard. That letting men with penises compete against women in girl sports? Why? This is the dumbest thing ever. And they're all on board with it. All right, let's see where she goes with this.
Adolescence is naive and ignorant and arrogant. And we are in our ignorant, arrogant adolescence.
Ignorant.
We haven't seen this before in our country. So Americans who don't travel, who 80% don't have a passport, who are uneducated, are in their extraordinary naivete. What I can say is that the only way that we can help with these issues is to help each other. Now, we can't just say that women...
All right, that's it. We get the picture. That we're arrogant. We don't travel enough. We don't spend enough time in Italy. I love going to Italy, Sharon. It'd be nice. Trump owns golf courses all over the world, some of the best golf courses in the world. So he's traveled. All right. Tim Walz, he's a real worldly guy. That's the impression you guys get from Tim. Oh, he did spend all that time in China. Making all his friends at the CCP and the Politburo over there. Helping them with their projects. So that's the kind of worldliness we need. Anyone who wants to be obsequious to Western Europe is just so out of touch with where the public is. We're not there anymore. She's stuck in the 1990s or something. Good, fine. That's what they think of us. Let's get it on tape. Let's play it. All right, one more vid for now because we got Joy Reid. Producer Misty, this was suggested to her on YouTube, and it's from October, so I didn't lead with it. But this was so good. I got to play this, and you're going to miss some of the visuals, as always, if you're not on YouTube and Rumble. But if I think the audio is good enough. Let's play this one.
The fact that the architect of the overturning of Roe v. Wade, Donald Trump, is tied with a woman candidate tells me that while women are mad, they're not mad enough. Part of what voting is advocacy for yourself and self-preservation, but it's also punishment. Why aren't you punishing these men?
Okay, so this is Joy Reid from MSNBC, who I told you I will not fire Joy Reid. She's just going to have to debate each and every night. If she wants to keep her job at MSNBC, she's going to take a huge pay cut, probably somewhere in the area of 90%, and then she can do a debate show where she's to defend her terrible ideas. So, which she never has to do. She doesn't have to debate anyone. She just gets to pontificate and get paid millions and never be challenged. So the first thing, the visuals are just odd. I have no idea where she's looking. She's just positioned the camera very low. She's got the hat perched on her face with the sticker on the hat. She's got a ball cap with the sticker on. Never a good look. Tell your 13-year-old it's not a good look to leave the sticker on. Just take it off. It looks stupid. And then there's this thing where you podcast, but you've got a hat on where you have to let it perch on top of your head. I've done this once. I've done one hat video in my life. And you can't let it sit on the normal spot just above the eyebrow because it casts a shadow unless you've got a really good light coming up from underneath. This is all the magic of filmmaking, people. Giving you pearls of wisdom. So she used to perch it on her head. It looks just absolutely silly. Absolutely silly. And then she's just talking about how we need to be more outraged about abortion. Abortions went up after Roe v. Wade, Joy. Not everyone wants to just obsessively abort all their kids. Some of us like to have the kids. We like when the kids are born, some of us. Is this thing on? Feels like a very obvious point that to make. We're not trying to just fornicate and terminate. That's the Democrats' platform. Let's make a bumper sticker. Democrats, fornicate, terminate. That's what we do. Let's see. Let's give it a little bit more.
Why aren't you taking their jobs and making them unemployed? And this is, I have to be honest, white women.
It's okay. We know.
We have to have this frank conversation with the women who make up 30% of the electorate, a third of the vote.
Okay, so in this YouTube short, this is a Crooked Media podcast, something called Hysteria. And that was a woman named Alyssa Mastro Monaco. I think she was an Obama person. I don't remember what she did. But she cuts in and says, we know. Speaking on behalf of all white women. Are any white women in the audience a little offended by that? That just to think you're just such victims of us men because we want you to only have abortions in blue states and maybe you got to cut them off after about 5 weeks. Like that is real victimization. That's real suppression. Women have come a long way if that's their main problem. I got to be honest with you because it was very late we gave the women the right to vote. If you play the whole clip of Reid, she goes through and lists examples of where women really did have to get caught up in the society. It's just very clear to me that the goal is to infantilize with women in particular. To your infants, your victims, and you need to be taken care of by we, the smart people like Joy Reid. And you got to be outraged at men in your life who don't do enough on your behalf to make sure you can have the abortions. Well, if you fine, then don't sleep with the men who get you pregnant. So you need an abortion. Cut the fornication down a little bit. All right. That's fun. That's fun. Good job, Misty. Nice choice. All right. I got a lot of email. I got tons of email. And I'm going to continue to take your emails at aloha@alexmarlow.com if you would like to offer up an idea for a show for when I take over MSNBC. Here is from Mark Yanta, MD. A lot of people like to put the title in. I'm good with that. I would like to know where your background is, where you're coming from. If you're to take over MSDNC, I think one thing you could do, which would immediately increase viewership, would be to have a 3-person panel, watch the shows, and live fact check the leftist rot being spewed. It would be great if an obvious falsehood, gaslighting, etc., would be met with a loud buzzer sound followed by a scrolling explanation of the truth. Maybe even have the panel wear referee garb and throw yellow flags at the host. That would be must-see TV. Let me think about this one. So I like the ombudsman approach. So Red Eye used to do this, which was Gutfeld's first solo Fox show, where they'd have an ombudsman who would come in at the beginning and the end of the show and correct people for stuff they said wrong. I thought that was pretty cool. So the ombudsman was a editor that would correct newspapers. This is a quaint thing from the past. I don't know if there's any left, certainly none that are high profile. But it used to be a role where a paper would police itself. and the ombudsman would write about goings on within the paper and issue corrections and stuff like that. So I think that could be part of a show for sure. Okay, in truth, I think you would be best off cutting their salaries and leaving them on air. Exactly, that's my big idea. There's way too much fodder there for you and the Babylon Bee, among other conservative media, to miss out. I hope you took my medical advice and your allergies are a thing of the past. I don't know. Allergies are doing good. I think I was being offered, Mark offered me some nasal spray ideas. All right. Alex, love your podcast. Eric Kleinstein writes from Parkland, Florida. Love the Fight Club shorts. That's our premium membership at Breitbart. Got some special Thanksgiving content up there for you. Here's my idea for the revised MSNBC with you in charge. Have Nolte, that's John Nolte, my real life godfather, senior writer at Breitbart, do a Mystery Science Theater 3000 in which he watches some woke movies and just makes comments throughout. It would be gold. It would be gold. That'd be great. I think you need to do more than John, get a little hangout going. And we could watch the movies and break them down as they're going. I think that would be great TV. You know what I've always wanted to do? I've always wanted to do that on cable news. So maybe this is what we do to keep Joy Reid show. You get the Reid, Maddow, Lawrence O'Donnell panel. They all have to be on together. But me and my buds, we can talk over the panel Mystery Science Theater 3000. See, now we're combining the two ideas. So we could do it with movies too. That'd be great. Nolte should do that. But I think it'd be good to do a Mystery Science Theater 3000, but while we watch the original MSNBC shows. That'd be cool. All right, Lucy LaPerna, who is a doctor and lists 4 different titles. I don't even know what 3 of these are. Congrats on all the degrees. Alex, love the idea of not firing them. Great thought to make them defend themselves and also prove their claims about Trump. That would be awesome. I'd like to suggest that Trump take an hour or even a half-hour Sunday and make an address to the nation. This could become a presidential tradition. Let the president of the United States do a history lesson for the nation. Teach things like history of the First Amendment, the history of the Second Amendment, the true meaning of the separation of church and state, etc. Who better than the president of the United States to teach true American history? This is a absolute no-brainer. I don't really know how much I can even add to it. If I take over MSNBC, President Trump will be given as much time as he wants, and I think making a standardized once a weekend type deal would be perfect, a la I think that was the frequency of the fireside chats that Roosevelt would do. Weigh in. Terrific idea, Lucy. Let's do it. All right, and then the last one we'll do today, Mark Simpson writes, Alex, love the show. Just a suggestion, when you take the reins of MSNBC, Al Sharpton hosts a show where he has to read submitted teleprompter scripts from donors. The Democrats can pay him to read softball ones, like ones, while MAGA donors can pay him to attempt to read more complex ones. If he reads flawlessly, a portion will go to the National Action Network. That's his group. But he forfeits money each time he babbles. That's funny. When he messes up a script, he gets a brawly buzzer. What is that? Is that a thing? That's an old timey talk show thing. That's like a Tonight Show type deal. Okay. Think it'd be a huge moneymaker. Think Cameo meets cable news. Exactly what it is. Cameo meets cable news. So you would pay Sharpton to say whatever he wants if he wants to keep getting his paycheck, and you got to watch it every night. Here's my problem with it. It'll get old. I don't think people only want a few minutes of this. I think it would work for 5 minutes a day for a few months, but I don't think it could be a full show. And it doesn't have to be Sharpton. You can get others to do it, but people would have to have a sense of humor. They'd have to play along. And then I do think it would burn out very quickly, but I like the spirit. You guys are going to have some real creativity. And that's why you're going to help me program the new MSNBC. We're going to make it happen, guys. It's going to happen one day soon. All right. That is today's show. Please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. If you're watching on YouTube, Rumble, hitting the subscribe button helps me. Make sure it shows up in your feed. Telling 10,000 friends and family members. Emails at aloha@alexmarlow.com. Thanks to our producer, Misty, for all the hard work that she puts into the show, and all of you. I sincerely hope you have a celebratory Thanksgiving, and I'll be back with some content for you in the next day or two. I'm not sure about a long-form show. We'll see, but I'll give you something for sure. I promise you that. In the meantime, thanks for listening. I'm Alex Marlow.